The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Death Valley, weighing in at 305 pounds, The Undertaker.
Let me show you what love is. Let me show you how to move your body. Let me show you.
Is there any superstar in WWE who can go toe-to-toe with that man, The Undertaker? I don't think there is.
Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? There's no way The Undertaker's gonna win this match. Just look at it.
Oh, I am, King. I'm looking at one of the most awesome forces I've ever...
That submission is locked in, JR, and this is a tough hold to break.
It sure is, King. And even if you break the hold, it takes its toll on you. Excellent counter. What ring presence.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective. Looks like someone's heading for the high rent district.
I think this crowd has decided to exercise their right of free speech.
Oh boy, this looks like an all or nothing move. It looks like they've slowed the match down a little, and I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere.
I don't see why Candace agreed to this match, JR. She should join us on commentary. She could sit on my lap, and we can talk about the first thing that pops up.
Folks, I've got to apologize for the King. I don't know what's gotten into him, but I bet it came in a little blue pill.
So, JR, are you enjoying the match so far?
Yes, I am. I think these superstars are putting on...
This has been one heck of a match, JR, but I think the end is in sight. These superstars are running on fumes. I'm not sure I agree with what the crowd is chanting, JR, but I guess it's their right.
You're damn right it is. It comes from the price of admission.
What a counter! I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
That's a short climb, but a potentially long fall.
The Undertaker's been in WWE for 13 years now, JR, and I think it's really starting to show here tonight.
I don't know what match you're watching, King, but the dead man looks as good tonight as when he first appeared in the WWE.
I'm not sure if it's your eyes or your brain. I think the end is near, JR. This can't go on much longer.
Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them?
I don't know how much more these superstars have in their tank, King. I think they might be running on fumes here. No one's ever going to confuse Candace with a Mac tactician.
but there's more to sports entertainment than knowing 100 different holes.
Yeah, but if Candace wanted to learn a few, I'd be more than happy to show her.
My, what a generous offer, King. And to think, some people say you're not a gentleman.
Look at this, JR. Can you imagine SmackDown putting on a match half as good as this?
No disrespect intended. I don't think he's climbing up there for the view.
You know, JR, everyone goes on and on about how great The Undertaker is.
He's going up. This could backfire.
I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear.
I think I know who's going to win this one, JR.
Oh, really? Enlighten us, King.
Wait a second. Why are you so eager to hear my prediction?
Because I want to know who's going to win. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the superstar you pick.
I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. He's climbing up. I'm not so sure this is a good idea.
You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it. But it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
I'm not at all surprised, King. I knew this was going to be a terrific matchup.
Oh, come on, JR. You're just talking through your hat. And speaking of hats, when are you going to get rid of that silly thing anyway?
Right about the time you stop wearing that crown, I'd say. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can, JR. And I don't think we'd have it any other way. So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King.
He's climbing the turnbuckle. What's he up to? Do you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the diva.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when...
This is a risky move. It could prove to be disastrous. I certainly question some of Candace's technique.
Oh, boy. These top rope moves can go either way. You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure. You're putting a lot on the line when you climb that turnbuckle. He's a slippery devil.
Listen to the crowd.
Oh, man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here. There's no room for error when you're on the top rope.
Boy, it's obvious these superstars have done their homework on each other.
They sure have, and this is one hell of an exam.
Let's hope it's not their final exam, JR. I'd love to see them go at it again.
Well, if I think the fans have their way, you'll get up the turnbuckle he goes. I hope he knows what he's doing.
I think I know who's going to win this match, but I don't want to say. I'm afraid I'll jinx it.
Come on, King. Don't tell me you're superstitious.
Of course not, JR. I'm not superstitious. I don't know where he thinks he's going. This could be a mistake. Here he goes. Up the turnbuckle. This could be really good or really bad.
This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it. Candace is one of my favorite WWE divas, JR. I loved her centerfold. It left absolutely nothing to the imagination.
I guess that's lucky for you.
I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR.
Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really...
No! No! How can the referee allow something like that?
Come on, JR. You know that the referee's health plan doesn't include vision. I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? We could be looking at a pinfall here, folks.
That was like 2 7/8, JR. Wow! Listen to these fans, JR.
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
See, JR, this is exactly why Raw is the #1 brand in all of sports entertainment.
You're absolutely right, King. We've got the best superstars, the best fans,
And the best announced team. Don't forget that.
I was going to say that until you interrupted me. Now I'm just hoping I haven't lost Taz's phone number.
He's going up, but what's he going to do when he gets there? You got to respect the commitment and the dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. Every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
It really is like being married to your career. There's not much room for anything else.
And marriage is a subject which you happen to be something of an authority. Isn't that right, King?
Come on now, JR. A man doesn't know what true happiness is until he's married. And then it's too late. Oh, boy. These fans have got something on their minds, JR.
Well, they paid for their tickets, King, and they've got a right to say whatever they want.
This match has the...
These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse.
You think this is going to be a back-and-forth kind of match? Or do you think this is going to be pretty one-sided, Jake? Climbing up the turnbuckle isn't bad. It's all the ways you could come down that hurt.
You know, King, I'm not sure that Candace is all there most of the time. She seems a little spacey to me.
That makes sense, JR. I think her ring attire might have been made on the moon. Because her body is out of this world. He's going up, JR. This could be big.
I think this crowd's giving these superstars a piece of their mind, King.
Are you sure they can afford it, JR?
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this fight.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well, then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also... It looks like he's taking his opponent for a ride, King.
And that's one ride you don't ever want to take. The last ride.
I've got a feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but I don't think that's it, King.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all.
Wow, there's a hole you don't want to find yourself in, JR.
You sure don't, King. We've seen many a superstar tap out to this one.
This is going beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, That makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knock. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the liver tape.
All right, enough! I'm getting a translator. I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King. We've seen many superstars tap out to this very hole.
I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea how these superstars can maintain